Hey everybody, my mantra is think brand first. Brand first every time. And the reason why I want you to think brand first is because your brand, right, should be the foundation of everything you do. Now, when you have a brand first mentality, that means that everything I do moving forward, that next thing, that handshake, that lunch appointment, that phone call, that social media post, that email message, that interaction I have with somebody at a team meeting is going to impact my brand. It's going to either move it up or move it down. That thing that, how is this going to impact my overall brand image? That's a brand first mentality. Now, what I want you to think about in this is my Venn diagram that I've created, and it really gets down into the components of one, what I do for people, and how I want you to be thinking about your business. Brand first means that we start with brand every time. When people come to me and say, "Hey, Scott, can you get us a website?" I say, hold on. We're going to go back and let's talk about your brand first. When people say, "Hey, Scott, can we do some company culture development?" I say, hold on. Let's go back and think about your brand first. Brand first mentality means we're going to talk about your differentiation. We're going to talk about consistency and alignment. And I don't mean brand just from a marketing standpoint. I mean brand from a vision, mission, values, positioning, and how are we consistent in the way we talk? How are we positioned in the market? What's our differentiating factor that we can all internally get on board with so that we can be more aligned in our outbound communication as well? It starts internally. We have to be aligned internally with all of those brand elements first, establish what that is so that we can be more effective with our outbound communication when we're trying to build our brand externally. Now, once we have that established from a leadership standpoint, then we can move into culture. That is where we start to say, okay, now we're all on board with this brand. We know who we are. We know what we're trying to do in the vision. Now let's understand us as a culture and how do we shape that? How do we get buy-in with everybody inside the organization, inside the team, to make sure that we are all on the same page? That's atmosphere, people development, and dedication. How do we get buy-in with our vision, our mission, and our values, our purpose, and our differentiation enough that causes people to be dedicated to their cause? There's a lot of people that are just there for a paycheck. They're not going to last very long. It's going to cause high turnover. It's going to cause people to be unloyal to you. It's going to cause people that aren't just going to walk in and collect a paycheck and then they're going to leave. And that's going to cost you a lot of money. So let's talk about brand first, move that into culture and understand people development. How do we invest in them to make sure that they're on point with our brand? And then once we have alignment with our brand, with our culture, and move into the design realm of actually packaging up that brand. How do we package up who we are in a way that looks like us and represents us? And then also looks like our target market in a way that causes them to want to buy what we have to offer, right? That's credibility, quality, and clarity. That's what that establishes, that design. And then we get into tactics. Now, unfortunately, tactics is where a lot of people start. They start with, hey, I need a website. I need an email campaign. I need this. Like all these tactical things that we all have to have. That's your boots on the ground, right? The day-to-day battle every day. I get that. We got to have tactics. But starting with tactics is a failed strategy, okay? Tactics are going to fail, and then we're going to lose all hope, throw everything out because why am I even doing this? That email campaign bombed. But it's also because you aren't starting with a brand first mentality. Maybe you have a lot of turnover, so there's inconsistency with your outbound marketing efforts, and people sense that on the outside. They say, what's going on in there? There's a lot of turmoil. There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of turnover, and that's shaping the outward perception of your brand. And that's shaping your brand externally, which is reflecting because your internal brand is dysfunctional. So what I want you to take away from this, brand first, every time. Build the foundation, roll it into people, roll it into culture, roll it into development of the atmosphere. Move that into building strong, solid design that creates credibility and quality and clarity. It communicates those things easily. Then we move into tactics. How are we going to get this out to the world to promote our purpose and our price and the value that we want to establish in the community and in the world. So that's it. That's Think Brand First. I hope that helps. And let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.